back in 99 communicators.
Today my speech is based on violence against women. Before we begin, what is the phrase violence against women? Violence against women is any act of physical, sexual, or emotional harm done to women. Now that may include threats or any unwanted intimate behavior. That may also include catcalling, which is very common in our society. It is so common that people overlook the things that occur in a daily basis. Our pledge clearly states that we're a democratic society based on justice, equality, respect, and prosperity for our people. But in all realness, there is no justice, there is no respect, nor prosperity or equality in our society. It is common to see women or girls cook and clean, but it's uncommon to see men or boys cook. That is the clear example of inequality in our society. There were cases where women ran or went to cops to find the extreme lengths of seeking protection from cops and other government bodies, but were turned away because violence against women is just a theory and not actually placed, and people never really followed the laws to that. Behind me is a graph that was recorded. It was carried out by a survey, and it states that 55% of women in Papua New Guinea experienced physical abuse and 45% have experienced rape. Now mind you, this is only the cases that have been recorded. There are many more that have not been recorded in rural areas that have gone unsaid. Majority of the time they run to the cops for help just to get turned away because it was justified as family issues or family matters that don't get solved in court or don't get solved in a police station. Now these women sometimes went back home and continuously carried on the cycle of abuse, which sometimes led to their deaths. Our government system needs to do more about this. Imagine a young girl, which is a true story here. She went out and about with her friends, and a bunch of cops who were patrolling an area at that time were catcalling her. In this scenario, it clearly states like everyone, the bystanders were standing there at that time, decided to focus on the humor of the situation that a young girl was getting catcalled, instead of focusing on the fact that these were the government bodies that are placed to help us. These are the people that we were supposed to run to when we need protection, yet they were the ones that were mocking and doing stuff that were against the law or against human rights at least. Behind me is two females. On my left, there's Marlene. She's 22 years old. She's from Tari. She got chopped and stabbed by her husband for waking up their sleeping child at 3 a.m. She went to the cops, of course, just to get turned around and sent back home, regardless of the circumstances. And Ruby and Laufa, she was punched multiple times by her husband and was forced to jump out of a moving vehicle at that time, which led to her death. Now, of course, these stories go untold because violence against women, the law is just a theory. It's not something that our society, there's no real interest in helping females in our society. Females are regarded less than a man in our society. I don't know why is this so. Behind me is Debbie Carroll, which is two popular events. Debbie Carroll, she was beaten badly by her husband for making a TikTok video. Now she got little to zero sympathies from the churchgoers, the media, government bodies. People justified this by saying men were dominant and that whatever that they did, it was because it was out of disrespect. Some said she was a mother and what she did was inappropriate. However, Jeneline Kennedy, who was beaten by her husband till she passed out and eventually died, they justified this, or our society reacted differently to this because she died. Now, from these two examples alone, you can clearly see that our society wants something drastic, has death to trigger their humaneness, or to trigger their emotions. Our society as a whole has no real interest in helping issues that involves females. This post that PNG is not a safe place to live as a female it went viral. It surprised me how men living overseas, Papua New Guinean men overseas, they shared this by putting degrading comments and slurs saying, quote unquote, saying it was, you think living in another country was safer than living in your own country, which I think is very funny because females don't even feel safe to wear what they want and step outside of their house or holding a flashy phone and walking outside, because at the back of their mind it says, or it rings at the back, that there's always someone out there to get them, or there's always someone to harm them. And this brings me to the end of my presentation. I would like to ask the many people in our society that what type of Papua New Guinea do you see your daughters growing up in? And I hope it's not one that she feels safe only beside her father because she knows that he will protect her regardless of the circumstances. Thank you.